see. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. We're trying to get this worked out here, doing something a little bit different this morning. Let me get everything set up for you guys. Good morning. We are live with the Latanya Moore Morning Show. I'm here trying to get set up, so please excuse me if it looks a little strange. But good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, I hope you guys have been enjoying the morning show, and welcome. Thank you guys for joining me live. We always do a replay. Yesterday was such a fabulous show. I'm so excited because this just lets us know that that you guys are really interested in the topic. Thank you so much, Lee, for joining this morning. Please like, share, comment. We are going to, of course, be answering your questions live. And today, I am going to be talking about how to take your brand to the next level. And I know we've been talking about a lot of things, but it's very important, guys, that in this season in your life, in your entrepreneur life, that you really think about growth. You really think about what do you want this business to look like from the other side, meaning at the end of the day, when you look back over your legacy, what is it that you want this business to look like? There's nothing wrong with just wanting to be in control of your own destiny. You don't want to punch a clock. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's one side. The other side is typically people that, good morning, Dario. It's typically people that are looking to build a legacy. They're looking for growth. They're looking to just, amass a large business. And depending on where you are with that, it's actually two different aspects of what you need to do. But some of the things that you need to have in place, you definitely need to make sure that you have a good team. You want to make sure, we've talked about this. I keep talking about these contracts. You definitely want to make sure that you have your contracts in place. You definitely want to make sure, good morning, Darlene. You definitely want to make sure that you have all of your protections, your trademarks, your copyrights. For those of you that are inventors, you want to make sure that you got your patents in place. Good morning, Curtis Dean. Thank you so much for joining. So I want you guys to know that we're not going to be able to cover all three of those. And then the fourth thing is operation today. But what we will be covering today is really about, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you at a place that you can move your business to the next level? Thank you for sharing, Mr. Lawrence. But again, thank you guys for joining us. I'm Latanya Moore. And so the first thing that you really have to ask yourself, you have to answer these questions for yourself. You don't have to answer them for me, and you really don't have to answer them to anybody else. But you have to ask yourself, do you have the drive and the vision to take your business to that next level where you're trying to go? Which means, are you ready for the ride? Are you in a personal place where you are ready to ride the slopes, the ups and downs? There are going to be some things that no matter how much you plan, there are going to be some things that you did not plan for. No matter how many professionals you hire, there are going to be some things that happen that you did not plan for. But some of these things you should plan for. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So it really first starts with the vision. What have you invested to the growth of your business? Because again, if you're not investing in your business, I think I posted this. If you are not investing in your own business, why should anybody else invest in your business? And I talk to people about this all the time. I have people tell me, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And they have this great, great vision. But what it comes down to is, are you positioning yourself right now? Good morning, Charmaine. Are you ready? Are you at a place right now so that you can make sure that you have a great foundation that is built to push your business to that next level? Because again, it all starts with a lot of these foundational concepts. That's why I'm talking about these things now. That's why I've been talking about contracts, making sure you understand how to categorize your employees, understanding why you don't need to pay under the table, understanding why you don't need to use these canned online contracts, because these are business practices that you need to learn now so that when the money starts rolling in, you are already positioned to take advantage of the growth that's going to happen. Because I truly believe that any business can grow. But the question is, what does growth mean to you? What does success mean to you? To some people, growth is, I want to have a chain of whatevers. For some people, growth is just getting a different market share or getting your business or into a different demographic. That's all growth. So don't be defined by what other people say that growth is. Because again, growth is really, you have to ask yourself, what is growth to you and what is success to you? So that when you take that time to sit down and set your business goals, which you all need to set business goals if you haven't been doing that, so that you can say, okay, how do I get there? What is it that I want to do? So the other part of it, and first is mindset, second is having a great team. And we're going to talk in depth about these things. And thank you guys so much. Those of you that are watching on the live feed, thank you so much. Those of you that are watching on a replay, like, share, comment. I am answering your questions live. I'm answering your questions live about getting ready to take your brand to the next level. Any question that you have, put it in the comments. I am answering the question live right now. So the second component is your team. Evaluate your team, right? Because there are going to be some people that are crucial to your growth. And I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about elements. We had a tax consultant yesterday. You need a great tax person on your team, but not just this pop-up person. Like, you need somebody on your team. You need someone also on your team that is well versed in the laws that affect what you're trying to do. Always deal with people that are going to be able to tell you what you need to do, or they are positioned where you can pay them to do it for you. So always deal with that. When I deal with people, so like, let's just say that someone, and since we had a tax business yesterday, a tax consultant yesterday, let's say that someone wanted to start a tax business. Now, of course, we shared a lot of great information yesterday about that. But on the legal side, the question is, what type of business entity are you going to set up? Is this going to be something that is seasonal, or is it going to be something that's part-time? Because depending on how you answer that question depends on how you walk down the road of business ownership. It also comes down to how well you're able to grow, how well you're able to get additional markets. The other thing too is, who are you going to be reaching out to? Are you going to be focusing on individuals, or are you going to be focusing on businesses? All of those things factor into whether you can take your brand to the next level. This is stuff that you need to know at the foundational level, so that as you build that brand, you have a great foundation, so that as you grow, your foundation can support the growth that you have. And that's what we're talking about today. And I know I talked about 4 different things, but the 2 that we're going to talk about today is about mindset. And we're also going to be talking about your team. And so the big thing is, when you're looking at who's on the team, I really hate to tell you guys this, but loyalty is not a factor. You may have people, they've been there with you long, but at the end of the day, if they cannot help you in your growth, if they are not crucial to the growth of your business, they cannot go with you. And that is a fundamental business principle. This is why, and we're going to have another one about this. This is why I always say, examine the relationships that you have and you build and you bring into your business, because that's going to be very crucial when you're looking at whether you have to cut somebody. If a person is not making the cut, you can't justify a good business decision is not based on who's been there with you the whole time. Now, you may be able to find a spot for that person, but you have to put the best person in the best position. But you also have to be objective as well. Also, on the other side of that, don't take for granted the people that have been there with you the whole time either. Look at their skills. It may be, they may not have the skills right now, but if they're passionate about it and if they support your brand, you may want to invest in them and help them get the skills that they need to be able to perform a certain function of the job. So these are all things, again, when you're working with your consultant, these are all things when I work with people, I tell them to think about all of that. You cannot look at your employees for who they are first. First, you have to look at the needs of the company and what do you need and who can you plug in right now that's ready to go. But then again, you may have somebody that is very loyal, they're a hard worker, they're willing to learn. Well, those are the people that you invest in. Those are the people that you spend the money, you help them get the skills. Those are the people that you build up. Because the big thing, and this is something that I've learned, not just as a business owner, but also as a supervisor, is that you must empower your team to do the job. As the visionary for the company, you don't need to tell somebody, do this, do that, do this, do that. Because if that's the case, then you're not giving people room to grow. The other thing that you're possibly doing, you may be preventing growth of your brand because you may be shutting people down from bringing in some good ideas, some things that you may want to try. If you make it where they don't want to approach you and they don't want to show you anything and they don't want to tell you anything, they're literally going to be just there collecting a check. You always want your employees and your team members to have a vested interest in what you're doing. You want to make them feel like they're a part of the team. You want to make them feel like that they're heard. A lot of people say, oh, that's touchy-feely. Oh, that's this. It may be touchy-feely, but I tell you one thing, it works. So when you're looking at that, you really have to ask yourself that question. I mean, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to invest in myself? Because guess what? As the visionary, you need to know every aspect of the company. Not saying you got to know it intimately where you can just necessarily jump in and do it, but you need to be able to know it well enough so that you can check behind people. Because again, we know that a lot of times we can't grow because we have people on our team that either are not doing the job and we don't understand what they're supposed to be doing. So we just think that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and then they're not. Thank you for joining, Cedric. Thank you guys so much. Those of you that are joining on the live feed, like, share, comment. I am taking questions live, so put them in the comments. I can see them today. I know a couple days I wasn't able to see them, but I can see them today. So put your questions and your comments right there in the comment section, and I'll definitely answer your question. But those are the things that we need to think about. As the visionary, listen, you must be passionate about your brand. Now, let me say one thing, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You got to have a brand. You can't just have a business. And a brand means, what are you known for? Your motivation cannot be just to take out the competition or to just do stuff that other people are doing because you see that what they're doing is successful in the sense of what they're doing with their brand. And I think if you do that, you will start to notice that your competition will get smaller and smaller and smaller. Thank you, Kevin, for joining. Thank you so much. But your competition will get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller because as long as you do your thing, you know, it's this whole big thing. People talk about stay in your lane. When you are talking about building your brand and taking your brand to the next level, you must stay in your lane. Do not get distracted by other people that may possibly be in the same industry. They may be doing something similar. They may not be doing, things that you do, but don't get caught up. You want to keep an eye on the competition, of course, but don't get caught up into what they're doing to the point that you're distracted from your vision and being the visionary and what you're doing. And never be afraid to collaborate with other people. We've talked about that. Go back and look at the video when I talked about contracts, and then you don't have to worry about all the fears and all the things and people taking your idea and stealing this and stealing that. You don't have to worry about that because, again, you have to be very passionate about your brand because let me tell you something. When you are passionate about your brand and you're talking to people and they feel like, man, this is authentic, this is great, because you should only be talking to the people that's ready to roll with you. You shouldn't be talking to people if they're not where you are. So I'm making a big assumption by saying this because I'm assuming that you're already talking to people that's looking to grow your brand. When I deal with people, the one big thing outside of making sure that they're legally protected and all of those things, one thing that people hire me for is the strategy part of it. Okay, this is where I am and this is where I want to be. How do I get there? What are some things that I need to do? Because whenever I work with people, now you're a part of my network. And my network is global. This isn't a rah, 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 Latanya. But what I realized is that as an entrepreneur, I had to operate off of buckshots. And so for those of you that are from the South and know anything about buckshots, you realize that when you shoot it, it sprays, which means that when you put yourself out there, for me, I knew that I had to deal with people in a lot of different areas, because what I do is something that is standard across the board for all businesses. Every business needs a strategy, period. But that strategy starts with the vision, and only you can say what that vision is. Very, very important. Very important that you know what your vision is. The other thing too is you got to be prepared to make some changes. No, your video did not go out. I actually stopped and paused there because I've had lots of people, some of them clients, who just literally were unwilling to change. They did not want to grow. They know exactly what they want to do, but they didn't realize that in order to get to that ultimate place, there are some steps that you need to take in the middle before you get there. So in the end, they never reached where they were trying to go because they were just doing the same thing. You have got to be open to change your behavior. And the behavior meaning just the way that you do things, not who you are. This is not about being fake or anything like that, because everybody wants to know that, listen, when people see me, one thing that they consistently say when they meet me is that, wow, you're just like you are on the videos. Well, I can't be another way. Y'all, I don't have time. I cannot be another person. I have to be me. And so that's why when people work with me, they understand what they're going to get. They know that when I'm representing their brand to other people, when I'm trying to get their product on global media, when I'm trying to help someone go from local to regional, local to state to regional to national to international, they understand exactly what's representing them. They understand that I've dealt with all of these people. Thank you so much, Tanya, for joining. Thank you so much, Latrice, for joining. They understand that. And so again, it's crucial. It is crucial that you understand that you have got to be willing to make some changes. You have got to be willing to do that, because guess what? Life is about changing, just like your business. The trends change. You know, you have to ask yourself, you can even look at the entertainment industry and see who survives 20, 30 years. It's because they were able to change and they were able to modify and extend and grow their brand. Good morning. They were able to do that in their industry so that they could continue to grow and continue to be at the top of the game. That's what you have to do. For those of you that are looking to grow your brand, and listen, growing your brand does not mean that you're going to be a multinational corporation per se, but you may be internationally known, really internationally known. You may be that person that when you're on vacation, someone comes up to you and say, are you such and such? Are you the one that does this? Because they've seen you all over the place. So again, I think it's crucial. It is vital. It is very important that you be prepared to change your behavior for the good of the business. This is not for other people, but the good of the business. Because remember, your business is you. You are your business. And this is your legacy. Very, very, very important. The other thing too is that you have to be at a place where you can articulate your vision in a way that inspires others. Get us excited. I mean, you guys know, look, we talk on social media, and I know I talk in my social circles all the time about the things that we see that just, oh my gosh, it just inflames us. Anytime that your brand evokes some type of emotion, you have found a way to connect with your consumer, period. And I'm pausing because I really want you to understand that you must be able to convey your brand in a way that people can connect with. You can connect with their emotions, but you also can help them resolve or solve whatever this problem is. Again, I work with a lot of different brands. I'm really excited about that. They're very, very diverse. But when I talk with them about growth, the people that I'm working with that are looking to grow their brands and move into a different area, or it may be the same area, but it may just be a different format. When I'm talking to them about that, I always tell them, you got to be passionate. Like, sell me, make me feel like I want to buy your product. And so even now, like, I'm doing something called a business check-in here in my local area. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, and every single person, every single business that I've gone to have all done that. They've all let me know how passionate they are about their business. They all have told me the personal reason why they started their businesses. And I'm so honored to see that people really understand this concept. But as you grow, you have to understand how to do that outside of your four walls. You have to understand how to do that in this global marketplace where you want to go to. And again, it may not be that the service that you provide is something that you can provide on a global level, but you can put yourself and position yourself to be an expert who helps other people do the same thing that you're doing locally. So all of these things are growth. It all starts with, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be known for? And when you look back over your legacy, what do you want it to be? Very, very crucial, very, very important. The other thing too is that there has to be a clear plan. Like I said, there has to be a clear plan to get from where you are to where you want to be. And you got to invest in yourself. You may not be in a place where you can understand how to do that. Yes, Latrice said passion and destiny. Yes, you have to understand that it's an investment for you. I know my phone. It's an investment for you to say, I am going to get with the people that can help me do this. And I'm going to pay them because this is what I'm doing. I'm investing in my business. I want to get my business to that next level, because at every level there's a next level, and at every next level there's a next level, and at each one of those levels there's someone at that next level ready to help receive you as you move to that next level. But you can't do that by not being willing to invest in your business. You just cannot do that. And again, I tell people all the time, you don't have to work with me. But work with someone that you can trust that can help you get to that next level. Again, I'm taking questions live right now. For those of you that are watching on a replay, you can put your questions in the comments. I monitor it all day. Like, share, comment. I really want and appreciate your feedback. For those of you that have questions that you do not want to put in the comment section, send me a private inbox message. Every time I deal with people, I always make that offer, because you can send me a private inbox message. I will respond to you just like I will respond to you here on the comment section. Thank you guys so much for joining live. Thank you guys for joining on a replay. I really appreciate it. I'm LaTanya Moore. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. But again, if this is something that you cannot do by yourself, which typically it's not, you typically need somebody that can help you look at everything from an objective standpoint. Invest in a professional. Invest in somebody that, one, all they do is what you need for them to do. They are strategists. They help you build your brand. They help you get your roadmap together. You may not need, most business owners, you don't need someone to do it for you. But oftentimes you need that roadmap. It's a lot of people that are very, very savvy. I see people all the time. They have a great following. People pay attention to them. They are an influencer and they never leverage it. And so their business doesn't grow because they don't leverage it. That's why it's important to invest in a professional that can help you understand how to leverage it. And then you just go. It's like, fly, baby bird, fly. Because again, that's the way that it works. You have to just be pushed out there. So the first thing is, get the right mindset. You're either going to have a growth mindset or you're going to have a business as usual mindset. You have to. You're welcome, Tanya. Tanya said you must invest to be your best. I love that. Y'all, if you're going to quote that, give her credit, because that is awesome. Thank you so much, Tanya. But seriously though, guys, you have to invest in yourself. And again, we're talking about the growth mindset and the business as usual mindset. Guess what? They're both awesome because it's based on you. It's based on what you want to do. The business as usual mindset, this is the person that wants to be in control of their future. They don't want to punch a clock. They want to be their own boss. Nothing wrong with that. But they do want to grow their business that's business as usual, in the sense that they just want more sales. They just want more people to consume what they have to offer. They want more people to buy their products. They want more people to buy their services. They don't care if they're in the US, for example. They may not care about doing business in Canada or Mexico or, the Middle East or Africa or any of these places. They're not trying to be international. What they do want to do, though, they want to get more sales right where they are. You still need a growth plan. You need a sales strategy. You need to ask yourself, where am I trying to go? What am I trying to do? You need to consult someone who can help you, give you that roadmap, because oftentimes you don't need for people to do this for you. You can do it. You just need the information. Invest in yourself and get the information. There are a lot of people, myself included. I'm doing a free brand protection webinar. Now, there are only a certain number of seats available. It is going to be a live stream, but guess what? The only way that you get the freebies, the only way that you get the discounts, the only way that you get any of those things is if you register. For people that's, you got to take the time to register. If you take the time to register, you'll get the freebies. Now, the thing about that is that means that you have to catch it when it comes out. We send this out all day on social media. Register for the free brand protection seminar. These are the things that we talk about. But the great thing is, for those of you that are registered, you will also be able to ask direct questions specifically about your business during the time that we have. So again, this isn't about telling you to come work for me. What I'm saying is invest your time. This is free. So that's all you have to do is invest and show up. It's going to be on March 22nd. Again, you must register. I am going to be posting the information in the LaTanya Moore Facebook fan page. For those of you that have liked that page or those of you that have visited that page, that information is going to be there later on today. But it's those type of webinars. Other people have webinars all day. Your timeline is flooded. It is flooded with people that are doing really great events that if you just take the time and invest the 20, 30, 100, some people it may even be $500, but think about the quality of what you're getting and invest in yourself. Stop just looking at who's hype. You better watch what people are doing in the sense of ask them who they're working with. So the thing is, you can jump on this bandwagon or that bandwagon, but at the end of the day, can this person help you? You have to pay attention to testimonials, all of these things again, because this leads us into building your team. Your team are the very people that I'm talking about. It's your tax professional, right? It's your consultant. Exactly. Latrice says free of major mistakes and lessons learned. So you guys need to understand that, because this comes down to, like I said, building your team. I've had people come to or be a part of forums that I've had. And they followed everything that we've asked, and they realize that they just may not be at a point right now that they have the funds for the services. Totally understand. I always tell people, you have to make sure that it is financially in your budget for you to be able to take advantage of any of the services. That's a given. But when you're thinking about moving your business to the next level, the very first thing that you need to ask yourself is, how can I free up some funds right now to build the team that I need to get me moving? How do I free up some funds to be pushed over that hump? Very, very vital, very important, because some things you just can't do by yourself. I've had people that have went to classes to learn how to do something, and then they don't even know how to do it. Once they actually try to put it into practice, it's very hard for them because that's not what they do. And because it's not what they do, unfortunately, it was wasted money. So, Trina, how much are the services? It really depends on exactly what service you need. I do a brand protection group coaching. I also have one-on-one coaching that I do. Again, those prices vary. If you put in the comments a little bit about exactly what you're looking for, I can tell you, in general, services can range anywhere from $250 all the way up to a little bit more than 5,000, depending on what you need and the level that you need it at, Trina. But thank you so much for asking. You can inbox me with more information and I can give you a more direct answer. But thank you. So again, we have to think about that, guys. We have to think about that. Again, we talked about the growth mindset. We talked about the business as usual mindset. Nothing wrong with either one. But the bottom line is it starts with a mindset of growth, a mindset of being in control of your future. There is no time worse than now that we have to think about that, because we definitely don't want other people controlling our future. You're welcome, Trina. So again, you must invest in your business to jumpstart your growth, period. Period, period, period. And the question is, do you really want to grow? Or are you merely looking to increase your sales? Answer that question for yourself and then reach out to someone like me. We'll talk about it, because that I need to know, like, where are you trying to go? Because again, both of them are great for people that are looking to grow, meaning they want franchising. You know, for example, I don't know what everyone does, but there are lots of things, you know, that we have that that will facilitate how we move to that next level. So, okay, I hit something and it took me away, but just quickly, and I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I hit everything. So in our next few minutes that we have left, I want to talk about your team. You know, I've talked about investing in your team. I've talked about that. Again, this is an investment, which means you expect a return. This is why you have to vet people. It's been people that have dealt with me and I tell them, well, you can maybe do a Google search of my name. You can see that I've worked in entrepreneurship, not just here, in other countries as well. And that is not to boast, but that is to get people in the habit of checking behind people. For those of you that were here with us yesterday, what did the tax consultant say? Before you walk out of your tax office, you need to make sure that you look at that paperwork and you need to read it. That is checking behind people. We are big proponents of that. Anyone that is operating in integrity, they want you to check behind them. Now, whether you do it or not is up to you. But that's why I tell people that it's not to say, oh, I'm worldwide, because I have to make sure I let people know that. It is not that. What it is that I want you to get in the habit of checking things. If it's something that we work on and it doesn't look right, you ask me immediately so that I can let you know what it is, or I can fix it if it's an error that you caught. Every professional that you deal with should be willing to admit if or when they make a mistake. Again, very crucial to your team, just like your team members. You know, you need to make sure that you have the right team, the right skills. You have to say, who do I need for this? And if you don't know, consult a professional. We will help you. We will tell you the players that you need to make this a reality. We will help you know the type of team that you need. Now, we may not have everybody on hand that we can refer you to. I definitely have a lot of people that I work with, people that I trust, that I refer people to because I trust their skills. They are people that operate in integrity, just like I promote. So yeah, I'm definitely going to refer people. But listen, just because you get a referral doesn't mean that you have to work with that person, first of all. Second of all, they know that they don't have to work with you just because they got it off of a referral. So just know that it's not something that you're forced to do just because you get a referral. I may have, like, for example, I deal with a lot of different tax professionals, but depending on your situation, I'm going to say this is who you need to call first. But if that person doesn't work out, you still have a list of people that you can call. And a lot of that is based on skills. I'm going to send you to a different person if you've gotten a letter from the IRS that says you owe $20,000 than I would for the person that's going to help you understand how to plan your tax forecast. Could be the same person, but it just depends on the level of what you're working with. So again, you also have to understand you must have a team. You got to have a team. You cannot do this by yourself. And guess what? Your team is not just your spouse. Your team is not just your business partner. You must have a team outside of the people that are connected to the day-to-day operations. Again, your CPA or other tax professional. You need to have an attorney that you can just call. Not saying you got to have them on a $2,000 or $3,000 retainer, but you need to have a person that you have an agreement with where if I need to call you, this is what it's going to be. Believe it or not, there are people that do that. I do that. I have people right now that have agreements in place with me that if they need to set up a consultation, if they need to call me, they already know what that amount is going to be. So they set up the appointment, they pay for the appointment, we do it. They don't have to pay a $2,000 monthly retainer for whether they call me or not. They don't have to do that. They already know up front. If they need me to write a letter, they know up front what it's going to be. If they need me to make some phone calls on their behalf, they know how much that's going to be. If they need me to intervene in a situation, they already know up front what it's going to have to be what it's going to cost at the very outset of our relationship. I make that clear up front because, again, they also know what's not included. Hey, Gay, yes, I do work with out-of-state clients. I take out-of-state clients on a consultant basis, just like I do here in the state of Alabama. Thank you. That's a great question. I probably should have just said that, but thank you so much. Yes, I do take out-of-state clients. I will ask that if you have a question, send it to me in the inbox. You can put it here if you're fine with that, but if not, you can send it to me in the inbox. Thank you so much for asking that. And so again, you have to know, you have to know your team. You have to hire people that are knowledgeable. And this is why, like I said earlier, and thank you guys so much for joining live. But like I said earlier, as the visionary, you have to know what every player is supposed to be doing so that you know and you can have that oversight. Are you doing what you're supposed to do? You can be able to say, okay, this, and this, and this. Some of you guys have seen some videos that I've done, like even with my dad. And my father's been in business for 30-something years now. He was probably my age, I think, when he went into full-time entrepreneurship. One thing that I will tell you is that you can ask him about any aspect of the club, restaurant type of business, and he can literally tell you right off of his head. Any aspect of it. Down to the zoning, down everything. Because he learned very early that you have to know every aspect. That's not saying that he can go and represent people, in court for zoning violations or anything like that. That's not saying that he would be representing people in front of the ABC board or the alcohol beverage board or any of that. But what I'm saying is, as the visionary of that type of industry, he knows exactly what's supposed to happen. He knows what the health department is looking for. He knows you got to have this concentration of that because he took the time to learn. He took the time to invest in himself and invest in his business. He doesn't do that, but he is in a position. He positioned himself to be able to be in an oversight position. That's what I'm telling you to do. So that way, when you choose your team members, you already know the qualities that these people are supposed to have. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you guys so much for joining live. And so in the last note, finding great people is the key to success, but you must delegate to them and let them do their job. Like I said earlier, you have got to empower your team. You have got to empower your workforce. You have got to let them know that you appreciate them. Gratitude, guys, it goes so far. And I can remember telling people, please, I'm sorry, and thank you. Oh my gosh, are some of the biggest words that you could ever say. There is nothing wrong with showing gratitude. I know that some of you that are business owners, you don't believe that. You think that you're supposed to just be, you can't be grateful to your employees or they're not going to want to work. You just got to do it right. Again, it comes down to empowering people. See, when you empower people, they're going to start to be innovative. They're going to bring you ideas that you otherwise didn't have. You're going to be able to kind of catapult really your business to the next level, because you are continuing to empower and invest in the people that you have. So as we close, again, thank you guys so much for joining. For those of you that are joining on a replay, thank you so much. We are here. I am here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Latanya Moore Morning Show. Today we've talked a lot about pushing your brand to the next level. There are 2 other components of this that I have not gotten to. We're going to do that in a video probably tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for joining. For those of you that are watching on a replay, again, make sure that you put your comments. I am going to be monitoring it all day. Send me your feedback, guys. I would really like to know what you generally think about the live broadcast. Because again, I'm really doing this for you guys to spread information, make sure that you know what to do, that you know what to look for. And again, please feel free to reach out to me. You can actually reach me on iprotectyourbrand.com. You can inbox me. I am here on social media. I do have Latanya Moore Facebook fan page. Like and share this video and some of the other videos if you get an opportunity. We've talked about several different things. We've talked about taxes. Thank you so much, gang. We've talked about taxes. We've talked about LinkedIn. We've talked about building confidence in your business. We've talked about contracts. We've talked about several different things in some previous videos. So take some time to go back and look at those as well. And you can always inbox me really about anything. I just advise people that when you beware of what you put openly on the comments, if it's something that is kind of confidential, you don't want to do that, but you can always send that to me on the inbox. But again, check me out at iprotectyourbrand.com, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm right here answering questions live. So until tomorrow, have a great day.